Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna be making a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and that is in how I learned to speak fluent German in just 2 months. Now I know that might sound crazy for some of you, especially if you are learning a language. I know for sure that I haven't learned all languages that fast. I've studied French for 10 years and never learned it, and I studied Spanish as well and used to live in Costa Rica for half a year, where I suppose I did learn it quite well, but I never learned it fluently. I never spoke it fluently. I know it can seem so impossible to learn a language that quickly, and I never really studied German either, and I learned it extremely quickly. So I feel like there is one or two things that you need to do, and you need to be very strict with yourself if you want to learn a language fast. I consider myself a fluent German speaker. I come from Finland. I've now been living in Germany for 3 years consecutively, maybe like 5 years all in all throughout my life, and obviously in that time you might learn a language quite well. But I remember when I first moved to Germany around 5 years ago I think, I learned German extremely quickly because I was so determined to learn this language, and I'm still in awe of how fast it happened because I did not know that it would be possible to learn a language that fast. It's going to be more of a story time because I don't feel like I have 5 tips or anything in how to do it fast. I came to Germany around 5 years ago and I hadn't ever studied German before. I never thought I would, but I met Alex, my boyfriend now. He's from Germany, and that's why I moved here as well for the first time to do a study abroad, and that's why I also kind of got into the German language as well. Me and Alex, we spoke English together first, and quite shortly after I came to Germany, I decided that I want to try and go ahead and learn this language. I did enroll myself into a German course at first, so I did take an A1 German course, which is the basic level course of any language, I think, if you've ever studied a language. And I think that's like the first pillar and the first most important thing that I did to kind of get my German skills started, because there I obviously learned all the basics: how to say hello, how to say what's my name, how to conjugate verbs. I won't go ahead and say that I learned all the grammatical rules of German language there and therefore learned how to speak it. Not at all, actually. I just learned the basics to kind of help me get started, and I got like a bit comfortable with at least practicing my German in that lesson, because it was a very extensive course. We did it was 4 weeks, and it was from Monday to Friday every day for 5 hours, learning German. We spoke, we wrote, and we always only spoke German with the teacher. After that course was ended, I had the opportunity or the chance to also take an A2 course, but that would have kind of collided with my studies, which were going to start in university. So I decided I don't really want to do that. Then me and Alex got into talking, and I was telling him how I just really want to learn German. And then he said, you know what, maybe we should just speak German together. As of today, only speak German together. I was a bit hesitant, I think. I was like, no, it's not going to happen. Like, how is that even going to possibly work? We're in a relationship, we live together. Like, I don't really speak German at all. I don't know how to say most things or anything for that matter in German. And he was like, yeah, no, let's just do it. Let's just try that out. He like asked me a very serious question, as Germans do, I suppose. And he was like, do you like really want to learn this language? Like, are you serious about it? And I was like, yeah, I'm really serious. I want to learn it, because obviously, even though I had just been in Germany for a month, I had still met Alex's friends and his family and all that kind of jazz, and it was always so frustrating that I just couldn't even understand anything that anybody was saying, let alone even have some kind of a conversation, let's say for example with his parents who didn't speak a word of English. So I was like, yeah, I'm really damn serious about this. So he said, okay, well, from now on the rule is that neither one of us speaks to one another unless it's in German. But it gets difficult because at some point you want to express yourself or you want to say something, and you just don't feel like putting in the effort to try and find out the words and verbs and everything to say it in that foreign language. In the first week especially, I definitely went to Alex a lot and was like, no, I'm just going to say this in English because I feel like this and I need to express what I'm feeling. Or, you know, I don't know, there were just so many times that I just didn't feel like going in my dictionary and trying to find the right words in order to form the sentence. But Alex was just very, very strict with me. I know it sounds kind of extreme, and I still remember feeling very annoyed of him at that time, because he was like, I'm not gonna listen to you if you speak English to me, like I'm not gonna do it. Today I thank him for that, because that is honestly and literally the only way I actually learned German extremely quickly. I mean, I got annoyed every now and then I told him, well, no, I mean, I have to express myself and I have to have conversations with you, so let's do it in English, like this is ridiculous. And he just asked me like, okay, well, if you want to learn German, we're going to speak German. If you kind of want to learn German and not sure if you're very serious, then we're going to speak English and sometimes German. You know, he put it in a very annoying way, I'll be honest, but it was also very right from him. It was like extremely true, and to that I couldn't say anymore like, no, I don't want to learn German, because I did. So I was like, okay, well, let's do this in German. So like basically for the next 4 weeks, anytime I wanted to say something to Alex, I had to say it in German. Anytime Alex was saying something to me, he said it in German. And you can only imagine how difficult that was. It was difficult in our relationship as well, because it was just like we weren't having proper communication at all, because anything you wanted to say took 5 to 10 minutes to say, because you're trying to find out the words, or for me to understand Alex took 5 to 10 minutes to understand it, because I didn't understand what he was saying. After 4 weeks, maybe like I'll even say after 3 weeks, I actually started to notice how much I was beginning to understand and how much I could start, you know, saying in German. And especially after 4 weeks, I feel like I was like from one day to the other, like I woke up, I still remember that day that I woke up and I had my first dream in German. And you know what they say, that when you have a dream in a foreign language or your second language or whatever, that's when you that's when you're in the language, that's when you know it quite well. That day I also was just very consciously noticing all these discussions I was having with Alex's friends or his parents, and they were all in German, and I understood everything, and I was speaking it very like I'm speaking English now to you guys basically. And yeah, it was just a very strange feeling to realize like, wow, I actually speak German, and that happened so quickly. It was the hardest 4 weeks of my life. I feel like I'm, well, maybe exaggerating, but it was definitely hard, like I said, for our relationship, you know, when two people are supposed to be together and communicate and everything. For 4 weeks that was definitely extremely difficult. After I had learned German, I actually applied for jobs quite quickly in Germany. Like after 2 weeks I was already applying for jobs, and I also had interviews in German, and I talked in German in my interviews, and I actually got the jobs as well, and had my first job in Germany as well, where I had to have fluent German. And I also went ahead and took the B2 official German exam, which I needed to take in order to show my university my fluency in German. B1 would have sufficed, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna try and do B2. And not to sound too cocky or anything, but I didn't study for that exam because I'm not the best studier. I don't like studying, and I just felt like it's gonna be fine. I did study like writing a little bit, like just getting used to writing sentences, because writing is definitely not my strong point. But anyway, that exam I passed without ever having studied anything else except A1 German. I think that just goes to show how quickly you can learn a language just by speaking it. Like I said, my German is not perfect yet. I feel like I speak it fluently. I do write and I can have conversations and everything. But my written German, for example, is still, I think, quite obvious that I'm not German, because I just never learned the German grammar rules or anything. No German has ever like complained about that, because I don't know, I'm bored, it's kind of okay. And so I wrote my emails in German and nothing, you know, it always worked out. Like it's not that big of a deal in that, even in a work environment, to have perfect grammatic skills. And anytime I felt like I had to make a good impression with my German written skills on an email, I would ask a colleague to just check it out, and they were very understanding. So it's just like, for me, comes to say that yes, of course I find it's a good idea to learn perfect grammatical German as possible, but don't let that stop you from just speaking it, because if you speak it, you will learn it. Like, that is my number one realization of why I never ever learned French or Spanish, is because I never went into an environment to speak it. Spanish, yes, that's why I learned it quite well, because I was in an environment where I did have to even speak it quite often. And I think the way that me and Alex did it, where it was literally like no English allowed rules, and we also obviously still had to have conversations, it just forced me to form sentences, to learn words, and whenever I said something wrong, Alex would correct it and I would say it again. And yes, it was annoying, but it was 4 weeks of my life, you know. I'm so grateful for that 4 weeks of my life, even though it was hard, even though I felt like Alex was annoying, even though our relationship maybe seemed to suffer a little bit for that time. In the end, what is 4 weeks? In that 4 weeks, it seems like a forever amount of time, but now I'm like, it's nothing. I'm just super grateful for it. That would be my secret into learning a language quickly. If you want to learn it, if you want to learn it fast, get into an environment where you need to speak it. That was my video for today, you guys. I hope it could help any one of you guys out, and I hope any one of you who's trying to learn a language will just go out there and try to find somebody. It doesn't need to be a boyfriend, obviously boyfriend is easier, but a friend, or, you know, go live in the country and with a family who doesn't speak English preferably. Just try to force yourself to have conversations with people in that language you're trying to learn, and it will definitely be faster. Obviously with me it was probably faster because I lived with Alex and we just were living together all the time. But if all you have is 1 hour with a person to speak that language, use it, and I can guarantee you that will be the quickest way to learn that language. Thank you so much for watching, and give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'm super excited to see you guys in my next one. Moin moin!